This week we're talking about the zoo. I love going to the zoo. Some of my favorite animals are seeing the big sharks, and I also like to watch the gorillas and the monkeys flying through the trees. What are some of your animals, your favorite animals that you like to see at the zoo? There are so many animals at the zoo, so let's think about some of them. There's really big animals like elephants and giraffes. There's small animals. You might see lizards. There's really small turtles that you could see and small fish. There's animals that fly, like bald eagles and bats. There's animals that slither, like snakes. So it's really fun to go to the zoo and see all kinds of animals. Today I'm going to read you a story about one of my favorite animals to see at the zoo. It's about a shark. It's called Clark the Shark. Hey, Clark and shark rhyme. You see the ark. They both end in the sound ark. Clark, shark. So there's going to be some more rhyming words in the story. So let's listen for more of those rhyming words, okay? In all the wide blue seas, in all the wide blue world, the top school for fish was Theodore Roosterfish Elementary. And of all the fish at Theodore Roosterfish, the biggest and the strongest was Clark the Shark. There he is. Clark loved school and he loved his teacher, Mrs. Inky Dink. He loved to play upsy-downsy and spin-em-a-jig with his friends. Clark loved his life. See, there's Clark, and he's got a big toothy smile, doesn't he? He is having fun. School is awesome, shouted Clark the Shark. Less shouting, more reading, said Mrs. Inky Dink. She says, shh. Lunchtime is sweet, yelled Clark the Shark. Munch your own lunch, said his best friend Joel Mackerel. See, look, Clark is eating all his friends' lunches. They don't look like they're enjoying that or having too much fun having him eat their lunches. Recess rocks, bellowed Clark the Shark. You're playing rough, Clark, cried the other kids. See, Clark is much bigger than the other fish. So when he's playing rough, it's probably hurting them. They don't look like they're enjoying that. Yes, Clark loved his life with all of his sharky heart, but he loved everything way too much. He was too loud. He was too wild. He was just too much shark for the other fish to handle. After a while, no one would play with Clark. No one ate lunch with him. No one sat with him at circle time. Even his best friend, Joey Mackerel, said, "Cool your jets, Clark. You're making me crazy." Oh, so no one's playing with him. Why aren't they playing with him? He was being too rough with them, right? And look, he doesn't have that big toothy smile anymore. Now he's frowning. One day, Clark asked Mrs. Inky Dink, "What's wrong with everyone?" Mrs. Inky Dink patted his fin. "Clark, sometimes you play too hard. You munch too hard, and gosh, you even help too hard." "But life is so exciting," said Clark. "There's a time and a place for everything," said Mrs. Inky Dink. "And sometimes the rule is to stay cool." At recess, Clark tried to stay cool, but he pushed the swing with too much zing. "Sorry," said Clark, "I forgot." "Yikes!" cried Joey Mackerel. See, he pushed the swing way too high. At lunch, Clark tried to stay cool, but everything smelled so good that he munched a bunch of lunches. "Sorry," said Clark, "I forgot." "We're starving," said his friends. See, he ate all of their lunches. Now they're hungry. They don't have anything to eat. In recess, Clark tried to stay cool, but a good book got him all shook up. "Now, Clark," said Mrs. Inky Dink, "this isn't the time or the place. Tell me, what's the rule?" "Stay cool," said Clark. "Hey, that rhymes." Okay. So Mrs. Inky Dink asked, tell me, what's the rule? And Clark said, stay cool. Rule and cool rhyme. So let's see if he can come up with more rhymes, okay? Then Clark got a big idea in his sharky head. Maybe if I make a rhyme, I'll remember every time, he thought. The next day he put his plan to work. In class, when lessons got exciting, Clark wanted to bounce out of his seat. Instead, he told himself, when teacher's talking, don't go walking. All right, so let's figure out what the rhyming words in that sentence are. What rhymes with talking? When teacher's talking, don't go walking. Talking and walking rhyme. And what do you know? It worked. Attaboy, Clark, said Mrs. Inky Dink. Clark smiled. Lessons are fun. At lunch, everything smelled so yummy. When Clark wanted to eat and never stop, he told himself, only munch your own lunch. All right, which words rhyme? Munch rhymes with lunch. Good. And it worked again. Way to go, Clark, said his friends. Clark grinned. Lunch is fun. At playtime, Clark told himself, easy does it, that's the way. Then my friends will let me play. All right, let's find the rhyming words. Easy does it, that's the way. Then my friends will let me play. Way and play rhyme. They both end in the A sound. And playtime was fun. Once more, Clark loved his life. But then a shadow fell across the playground, a ginormous shadow with tentacles galore. It's a new kid, and he looks scary, cried Joey Mackerel. Swim for your lives. The squid squashed the slide, and it snapped off the swings. Oops, my bad, said the new kid. See, there's the new kid. It's a big squid. Wait, said Clark. He just wants to play. Let's find a way. And he swam at the new kid with all his might. Clark played harder than he ever had before. Upsy downsy and spin him a jig. Why, he even made up a new game. Tail Wumpa-Lumpus. Wow, that was fun, said the new kid breathlessly, and he settled down. If you want to come to school, you've got to stay cool, said Clark. All right, let's find the rhyming words. What rhymes with school? If you want to come to school, you have to stay cool. School and cool rhyme. That's right, Clark, said Mrs. Inky Dink, and thanks for taking care of our new classmate, Sid the Squid. Hooray for Clark the Shark, everyone cheered. That night, Clark's mother said, what did you learn at school, dear? There's a time and a place for everything, Clark said. Sometimes you have to stay cool. But sometimes a shark's gotta do what a shark's gotta do. The end. Well, I like that story because it's about sharks and I like to learn about sharks, but also because I like to hear all those rhyming words. What I'd like you to do this week is talk to your families about the zoo and about your favorite animals to see at the zoo, and maybe you can come up with some rhyming words too. Just like in our book, Clark the Shark, maybe around your house and with your families, you can talk about some of the words that you hear that rhyme, okay? All right, bye guys.